Alright, today we have a 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and this is the 45 RFE. It actually designates it right on the tag here, 45 RFE. And this had a lot of, these people like to do a trans. This thing had about probably 5 or 6 codes. When we drove it around, it didn't work too bad. But it had a lot of codes, pressure switch codes, solenoid codes, pertaining to the solenoid pack. And this solenoid pack, which is black plastic, is the early style. So this really isn't made anymore, and it's going to be replaced with the updated solenoid pack. It has the white connector. And of course, when you replace the solenoid pack, there's like a slide plate that has to be updated as well. So we'll be changing that. So we're going to open this up. I don't really think we're going to find too much. The fluid looks good. I'm not sure if somebody recently had serviced this or not. It certainly doesn't look like it. But you have your input and output speed sensors, and on this side you have your line pressure sensor here. That's going to be all be changed as well. This is a pretty high failure rate sensor. So I guess that's about it. So we'll take the sensors out, first from the outside. We'll take the pan down and pull the valve body out. That'll all come out as one, and then we'll start, stripping the unit down here. Shouldn't be too bad, and the fluid is fairly clean. And when the wholesale account dropped it off here to us, when the guy got out of the car, he goes, "I didn't feel anything wrong with this," but there's something going on, because they did have, like I said, about 5 or 6 codes. So let me get a little closer and we'll start taking this thing apart. Alright, so let's start with these here. Output speed. Okay. And get this line pressure sensor. And then we have this aluminum cover that we're going to take off, and we have a snap ring here, and we have a snap ring here. So let's see if we can get at least those out. And then the larger one. Okay. This here, thing's huge. Okay. Now we'll tip this up, get the pan down. I had this draining. Now it looks like somebody may have serviced this. Maybe they try to do that before they send it over to us. But pan is clean. Absolutely nothing in the pan at all. Okay. I've got to get that filter out. Let me get my reach for that here. Alright, we're going to get the cooler return filter out. Alright, next step, a couple of bolts. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 bolts. We're going to just lift this valve body right off. So here's your solenoid pack. Here's your slide plate that we're going to change, your 2/4 clutch seals, your low reverse clutch seals, and here's your accumulators. And this plate used to come loose, so the bolts used to break, and there was actually Sonex, I believe, makes a replacement piece for that, but this is the valve body here. Alright, now we're going to knock the aluminum cover off. Okay. That came out nice and easy. Alright, we'll get that pump out of there. Ready? Here's the pump. Look at the input drum, washer, bearing. I'm sorry. Okay. Here's the big input drum. We'll open this up. This houses your reverse, overdrive, and underdrive frictions. Alright, next we gotta get the 2-4 set about the piston assembly. And when you put the snap ring back, the opening in the snap ring has to face the opening of the case, so the seals, I believe, so the seals can valve binding the seal against it good and make the seal with the 2-4 clutch seals. Okay, is that snap ring? Looks like a little bevel up top here, and it's flat on one side, so of course that bevel will face up. All right, see if we can get this out here. Here is the 2-4 clutch, fourth clutch. We got to get the second clutch out of the case there. Yeah, these are good. Alright, now there's another snap ring that the piston sits against. So let's get that out. Alright, that's right here. Here, I'm going to put this aside, bearing on each side. Alright, here we go. These are dark. Got some burn marks on them. Alright, so I'm going to take the snap ring out. It's just about stripped. I just get the rear planet. And I got a bearing here and one here. Alright, some gear. Take the extension housing off now. Alright, so let me just switch this thing around. Give me a second, and I'll be right back. Alright, first we'll get the ones on the bottom out. Whoops. got a couple here with some studs on them. Get it with a shorter extension. Where is the shorter extension? I know there's one out. Let me just grab another one. Oh, good. All right. So, let's get the old air gun out. These two here with the studs on them. All right, and we just have a couple left. Seal there. We got a rear seal here. We'll change. Bearing here. All right, now we got the snap ring we got to get out, which will let us take out the park gear, and then we can take the rest of the trains apart. Okay, here's your park gear. Rear flat with a bearing, ring gear, and there's probably another snap ring in there. Low clutch drum. Alright, that ain't gonna work. Let's get this one. And the case is stripped. Alright, so let me get rid of the case and we can start opening up these drums, checking these clutches. Alright, so I will be back in a few. Okay, so let's open up this low clutch drum, low reverse clutch drum. We've got to get the snap ring out here. Pretty thick snap ring. Okay. There's the sprig. Alright, it turns one way, locks the other. Now let's check these frictions out. Not too bad. I'm probably gonna, again, I got a, looks like there's some burn marks on these things. You know, clutches are dark so you really can't see it around here. But I like to do the banner kits in these. Okay, so we got the hub, which won't come out yet until I take the snap ring out. That's for the reverse clutch. So this is the 45 RFE, this is the 4-speed. Alright, reverse. A lot of snap rings in this one too. Alright, next is going to be the overdrive. And the overdrive comes on in 3rd gear. Alright, those are the 2 hubs. Overdrive clutches need to be changed. And you can see these things all burnt here. Steels are okay, but the clutches are no good. Those are the overdrive. That comes on. They're on in 3rd and 4th. Alright, let's get this outer snap ring out here. There should be a wavy one. It is wavy. That goes on the bottom of the pressure plate, and the flat one goes on the top. Alright, now let's get this one out. Alright, I'm going to try to get something behind it. This one's a little tough to get out. Go. Alright, then the pressure plate, and just like on all the other ones, you know, this can't move or will totally screw the clearance up, so you know everything has to be matched. This is an underdrive clutch. Underdrive is on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Gotta find the opening here. Not bad. Okay. All right, now see if we can get the clip out and take that input shaft out. Let's see if I can find the end. Oop. There it is. There's the input shaft. There actually is like a drain back valve in there with a little snap ring. Sometimes, you know, they're easy to come out. I think what I do is I take the snap ring out, then I think I blow it out from here. But yeah, there's a little tiny snap ring in here. It's either like a drain back or bypass valve. A little tough to get out. If it actually is free, I would just wash this up in a sink and not run this through the tank. But I have taken them out before. Alright, so this we just got the rest of the drums here, pistons. Again, the fourth clutch looks pretty good. This comes on actually in fourth. The all-wheel drive clutch comes on in third. Alright, so let me get set up now. We'll open up this pump. Okay. A lot of T25 bolts here. And I'm going to take these out, probably move the stator out. And your filter seal right here. Alright, so let me just kind of start with this. I'm going to take some of these bolts out. I'll leave a couple in. And we'll pull the stator out and then open the pump. There's going to be like 3 sets of gears, a little shuttle, well, 3 pump gears, 1 drive, 2 driven, and a little shuttle valve. And there's going to be a couple of bolts holding a plate against this pump body here. All right, so let me just go take care of something. I'll be back in a minute. All righty. All right, so let me take the last 2 bolts out of the stator here. Okay, that'll come right out. And you got your rings, which will be changed. Everything looks good here. Alright, I got to cut just a couple of bolts left in here. Okay. All right, now in this section of the pump, you have some valves. All right, so let's just go through them first. Down at the bottom, you have your pressure regulator valve. Up at the top, you have your TCC accumulator valve, TCC limit valve, and this one is the TCC, torque converter clutch switch valve. And there may be a problem of this thing maybe stalling when you put it in drive. Maybe harsh engagements or disengagements into lockup. All right, there's a common issue for the limit valve, and sometimes there's a spring on each side. The accumulator valves, springs break, and that would cause that. Like even if you put this thing in drive, boom, it shuts right down, drive or reverse. I would suspect a broken spring, basically on earlier models, like this one. So what I'm going to do is during the rebuild process, the limit spring is going to be changed and the accumulator spring is going to be changed. I believe Sonex actually sells those. I probably have them somewhere and I have to look for those, but those springs are going to be changed. All right, now we got 2 bolts holding this plate down, and you got to make sure those bolts actually go back. This goes on just like this. Alright, so to continue getting back to the pump, alright, so this plate goes on here. Alright, and then you have the two bolts, the small bolts that I took out, and you got to make sure you put those back. Alright, this right over here, this section right over here is the pump suction port. And if you leave these two screws out, and they got to be torqued down to 40 inch-pounds, if you leave those two out, it creates a very large leak and it'll cause the car actually not to move. So you got to make sure you put those two little bolts back and tighten them down to 40 inch-pounds. Okay, so here are your pump gears. You got the drive gear and the two driven gears. All right, these things will pop right out. Then you have a little shuttle valve right in here. And pretty much the way this pump works, looks like a little teardrop here. This pump has a primary stage and a secondary stage, and at lower RPMs it gets its pressure from both stages, the primary and the secondary. But as the speed increases, you going faster or RPM increases, the shuttle valve will close and you'll just get the pressure just from the primary side of the pump. So that's pretty much why, what this does. This will close and you'll just get the pressure from the primary side of the pump. Alright, so I guess that's about it. So this thing did have a lot of codes in it, mainly to do with the solenoid pack, and that of course is going to be updated because it is the black plastic. Let me just spray it back. Get these pump gears. Open up this valve body. As a video, once I get the solenoid pack, we'll just do the whole thing with the new solenoid pack. There's going to be a new slide plate. We'll put new seals, go through all the accumulators, and just kind of overhaul this valve body. I think the only valve in this thing is the solenoid switch valve, which is a whole video in itself. Alright, so I guess that's about it. So this pack here is going to be changed. When it's the black plastic, you have to change the solenoid pack and you have to change the slide plate. You can't reuse this one because with the updated solenoid pack, this has been updated as well. You have your 2-4 clutch seal, your low reverse clutch seal, and your accumulators here. Alright, so we'll probably wind up going through that valve body together when we do that. And I guess that's about it. 99 Jeep Grand Cherokee, 45 RFE. Transmission's not in that bad a shape. It actually drove okay when we drove it, but it did have about 6 codes or so, all pertaining to the solenoid pack. So we're going to overhaul it. Typical banner kit, solenoid pack, filters, converter I got to order, and we'll do it up, get it back in the car. Alright guys, and this also, seals do come in the kit, but I just buy the whole piece with the seals and everything. I put some pretty slippery stuff on it. I make sure that the surface is all clean on the case, and then I use this SDP oil treatment. It's pretty slippery stuff, and I put it around, and you got it just as aluminum. It bends very easy, so you really got to be careful. Just work it around with the snap ring in, and I put the outer snap ring in first and then the inner one. Alright, so this is going to be changed as well. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll see you next one. I just wanted to show you the contents of the input drum, real quick. I took all the seals out and stuff, so everything will just come apart. So we start with the snap ring here. Alright, we got a balance piston. We got our return spring for the balance piston. Okay, underdrive, clutch piston. Okay, then we're going to have another snap ring, and this is just like on the other typical other units, 604, 606 42 RLE. It has a chamfer, so the chamfer's got to face up to fit into the groove. If you put it this way, it may appear to be in, but then as soon as you put the car in drive or reverse, it's going to fly right out. Okay, then you have your input clutch retainer, your overdrive and reverse piston, and I guess they call this like let me just grab a rag, a piston housing. Or technically they call it a clutch hub. All right, so that's that one. And then this other one here. All right, this is your 2-4 piston and your 4th clutch piston here. And these both have seals here. There's one seal inside and one here. And your low reverse piston, there is a snap ring in here that you take out, which acts as a stopper for the one-way clutch. And then you got to press this down, and I believe it's probably a split ring. Let me actually just take this snap ring out. So this will come right out. And then, yeah, this has a split ring too, so you got to push down the Belleville return spring, and then I use a magnet and get the 2 pieces out, and that's the low reverse piston in there. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just pause it. Let me take that apart real quick, and I'll show you that as well. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here are these are the split rings here that hold that down, and this is what I use to get that out. This is actually a shim on like a 46 RE. Okay, then this will come out, and then here is it. Let me see if I can just pull this thing up. And there is the piston. All right, you got some orifices, you know, in here. You got one here. You just kind of want to make sure all that stays clean. Here, so, you know, you just got to make sure all that stays clean. This tranny's in pretty good shape. You know, if I hold, normally you can see like a little stream of light coming through. Let me see if I can see that. Let me get another air gun. Yeah, you know, when you clean these things off, and they can fall out too, so you got to be careful. I should see like a little, I hold it up to the light, up to the sun, you should see a little stream of light coming through. And if you don't, then that means it's normally, you know, of course it's clogged. So that's also what to look out for. All right, so just a couple extra tips on that. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next one.